Anybody who knows me has heard me say, I reserve the right to get smarter every day. And as a business owner, our businesses and the lives of our employees count on us to do that, to get smarter. You know, I have a saying when I speak that says, if you don't have a habit for growth, the best you can hope for is to get outgrown. And of course, if you're not growing, you're dying, right? So we have to continue to grow as business owners. So one of the treasures that we have in Arizona for not only starting a new business, but in scaling and growing your business is the Small Business Development Centers, the SBDC. I found them to be a wealth of free resources that can help business owners be smarter every day and grow. And today, I'm so pleased to welcome the following directors. From Maricopa County, Nancy Sanders. From Yavapai County, Jerry Denniston. From Coconina County, Gina Couliard. And from Mojave County, Lisa Card. Now, Ellen Curtin from Pima County had planned to join us and had worked with us on putting this together for you today, but unfortunately she had to unexpectedly take a leave of absence. So I'm going to ask you all to send prayers and good wishes her way. So at this time, I'd like to ask our esteemed panelists if they could take a moment, introduce yourself, share a little bit about yourself and your journey. I know that you've all been business owners yourself, and your strength, and then share with us a success story that you've seen in your role as the director. And I'm going to ask Nancy if you'll share first.
Great, thank you. Well, good afternoon, everyone. And Jean, I just have to say thank you so much for including me in this panel. It's great to see some of my familiar faces, my Nabo sisters. I certainly have missed seeing you, so it's been a great event. So as Jean said, I'm the Regional Center Director for the Maricopa Community College's Small Business Development Center. And like my counterparts you're going to hear from, my team works with businesses to not only help them launch, but to grow. And in the past year, we've had the distinct honor, I would say, of saving literally thousands of businesses, and you're going to hear about a couple of them. My background, as some of you know, is in marketing, and I started with the SBDC as a part-time counselor almost 11 years ago. And I can't believe that it's been 11 years because I've never done anything for 11 years. But I started part-time, and I realized as I grew my business, which at the time was Three Dog Marketing, I wanted to have a bigger impact. It was driving me. I don't know if that's necessarily a strength, Jean, but it definitely is something that drove me. And I realized that as an owner of a small business, I could impact literally dozens of businesses, but as the director of the center, I could work with a dozen or more people, and we could have an impact on hundreds and collectively thousands of businesses. And that's really why I've stayed. Like I said, I can't believe I've been here so long, because you're going to hear from Jerry and Gina and Lisa, who are all very successful previous small business owners. And I really have stayed because of the talented people I've worked with in the center and also the clients, which, by the way, about 45% of our clients are women at my center. So that's pretty exciting. I think that my, I don't know, Gina and Lisa and Jerry, you can say if this isn't true, but I think one of my strengths is my drive to collaborate. I don't have all the answers, and I know I don't have all of your answers, but I'm excited to learn from you, and I'm excited to bring together what I have. Since Jean, you've been sharing some quotes today, so I'm a former recovering Mary Kay consultant, and you know, Mary Kay Ash, so far ahead of her time. But she used to say, if you know, I had an idea and you had an idea and we got together and shared those ideas, we'd both have two ideas. And so that power of collaborating is really what excites me. And just so you hear a little bit from me about one of our clients. So we've worked with this business owner, woman-owned business for a number of years, and was a multi-million-dollar business before the pandemic. But as of March 9th of 2020, their business was about 75% from Amazon. And literally overnight, it went to 25% because Amazon focused, as some of you perhaps have an online presence know, Amazon focused on essential items, and they did not sell toilet paper. So they had to embrace the change and adapt their business model, hire more people, change the way they worked because they distribute products. And now, you know, even 12 months later, now they are able to do that 75%, not with Amazon. And so it's aided certainly their profitability and their bottom line. And now, while we didn't work with them to launch their business, because they've been a client for more than 10 years, they've worked with probably half a dozen of our center counselors to help them address cash flow, financing, acquire loans, as Jennifer talked earlier about having to leverage the power of capital. So financing, supply chain, operations, human resources, et cetera. And now what's really exciting, and I'm sure some of you can relate to this, we are talking with them about an in-depth financial analysis so that they're ready to sell their business. So that's just, you know, so rewarding in and of itself. So hopefully I kept to my time, Jean, and again, thank you so much for including me in this panel.
Again, sorry about that. Thank you, Nancy. So Gina, can you introduce us and tell us a little bit about your history, your journey, your strengths, and the story from your county?
I would love to. My name is Gina Couliard, and I'm the newest director on this panel. I've been with the SBDC for just over a year and a half, so I was very, very new when the pandemic started. So it was a great introduction to sink or swim, right? My previous experience, I was 19 years old when I started my first business, and I operated that business for over 20 years. I was able to sell it to a major corporation, something I'm very, very proud of. But when I was a 19-year-old girl, a lot of people didn't take me seriously. And, you know, I'm sure that that had a lot to do with my age, my gender, all of those things. And it took me a many number of years to feel confident in myself and my abilities. And I realized for them to take me seriously that I had to take myself seriously as a business owner. And that was a real learning experience for me as a business owner. I started surrounding myself with strong, empowering women who weren't afraid to tell me when I was messing up. And I think that those women who held me accountable to myself and kept me authentic to myself were crucial to my success. When I started at the SBDC, I had been on the job about 2 weeks, and I met this wonderful client. And she's probably one of my favorites. And if I could just replicate everything she does about inspiring me and empowering me, she does it. She has group homes for the developmentally disabled, but then in addition to supplement the group home, she has a shredding company where she does document destruction, and she brings the group home individuals in to work in the document shredding company. And this woman has done so many really smart things. She surrounds herself right when I started, she started seeking capital for a new building where she'll house both of her programs. And at that point, she started, just like I did so many years ago, building a team of strong women. Her CPA is a woman, her accountant's a woman, or her attorney's a woman. Her SBDC counselor, me, is a woman, and her realtor is a woman. So all of these people are in her corner, and she calls them her strong women corner. It's a little bit more flavorful than that, but who keep her, grounded and online. But she is set to ground break this May, and we'll be moving her properties in. And during this pandemic, she just inspired me. She saw this opportunity of this change and this pivot. And so she came in one day with a list, and she's like, these are all the things that I'm going to accomplish during this change. What a great opportunity. And I thought, wow, what an amazing way to look at things. And she's marked them all off the box. So that's one of the things that's been really, really wonderful for me as a SBDC counselor, to have a client like her right at the beginning. The biggest success we've had up until this point with her moving in her building, which will be huge, is that we were able to get her signed up for government contracting. And she just got all of the federal buildings for document destruction for the state. So super rewarding to watch her grow, empower her team, and be part of that journey. And hopefully I kept to my time. Thank you so much, Jean and Nabo, for having us.
I've got to get better about unmuting. Thank you so much. I love the story, and I love the optimism of, hey, this is where we're at. So how do we take advantage of it? What can we do? That's fantastic. So Lisa, can you introduce yourself and share a little bit of your history, background, and a story?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for having me here today. It's been wonderful. I'm learning and growing, of course. As we learn, we grow, right? My name is Lisa Card, and I'm the Center Director at Mojave Community College, for Center Director of the SBDC. I've been with the SBDC for 10 years, and I have owned 4 businesses here in the state of Arizona: manufacturing, commercial general contracting, accounting, and transportation. And I had a wonderful woman who mentored me right out of college. Her name was Karen Tyra, out of Tucson, and she was amazing. She was second generation business owner, and I'll never forget everything she taught me. It was more than my college education, to be quite honest. A strength of mine is being able to successfully work with many different industries, which is very unique for us. We're constantly turning our hat, right? As a client comes in, we're having to change who we're talking about, the type of industry we're talking about. It's pretty unique, pretty cool. So I want to share today about a client who is a woman business owner and a millennial. Millennials get a bad rap, but they are actually really wonderful to work with. Andrea McDowell, she owns Rosebird Farms, and she started working with SBDC in 2018. She was selling flowers and veggies from her little garden to a local shop downtown in Kingman, Arizona, also providing her produce at farmers markets. So we provided her with the right tools like Growth Wheel and Live Plan to upscale her business. She has been awarded several grants this last year during a pandemic of almost $500,000. And she was chosen for America's SBDC annual report, so 2021, as a millennial farmer who pivoted her business during a pandemic year, providing rural community services like taking EBT cards. She has a wonderful program where she boxes her produce and has a monthly subscription. She's just really changed the way she does business, and she partners with a lot of bakers and other sources of providers that provide food. So it's pretty amazing. That was really fun to work with, and yeah. So that's what we do here at the SBDC.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So love the story. Love to hear this millennial, and can't wait to hear some stories from Gen Z. So with the future generations, and I know they're coming. So Jerry, would you be so kind as to introduce yourself and share a little bit of your background, your strengths, and share a story?
Sure. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jean, and also thank you, Nabo. This has been a great conference and a great group of women to participate with, along with my SBDC colleagues, because we do collaborate a lot. My husband and I have our own consulting practice that we've had for more than 30 years, and it is in strategic management and business planning consulting. And so it was a natural fit when I was asked to apply for the center leadership position at the Yavapai College Small Business Development Center as the director. I really didn't want to do it. I was encouraged multiple times to please do apply, but the benefit of it is that I see is, you know, as an independent consultant, the challenge always was keeping the client on an ongoing basis. They work with you initially to get the business plan done, get the strategic plan done, facilitate with the board, but it was really hard to get them to continue with you as a consultant ongoing as their coach. And so the advantage that I have found with working at the SBDC is that I get that longevity with the client. It's not just from start, but also to see them grow, see them ultimately sell, transition out of their business. And that's been so gratifying. I have built a phenomenal team because our center was absolutely decimated by everybody retiring when I joined in 2017. And I've built a wonderful team. It turns out we're all powerful women. Why is it women are the ones that are always applying for these positions? I don't know, but it's the women who seem to be the most qualified. We do have one external consultant who is our financial consultant, but a great team of powerful people. And like Nancy said, I've always believed that collaboration is the key, that we're better together, working together than we are working individually. And because I know that I don't have all the answers, none of my team members have all the answers, but we can reach out to this vast network of 10 centers in the zona, 75 people with all of their expertise. So it's just wonderful to be able to collaborate with everybody and bring in the expertise that's needed to help our was going to be presenting. I was in her breakout room, and so she's the one that I wanted to share about in terms of a success story, because they've done, Superstition Meadery has done a phenomenal job of pivoting during the pandemic. They've grown their business since 2012 as a husband and wife operation, and she was telling that story. I don't know how many of you were in that breakout session. But they started, you know, it was a home brewing kit. It was a birthday or a Christmas present that she gave her husband. And they have grown it to be the largest winery in the state of Arizona. So, and their mission is to reintroduce the world to the oldest fermented beverage, which is mead. And the exciting thing about working with Jennifer and Jeff is that they have done a remarkable job of splitting their roles. This is hard for a couple who go into business together because frequently they don't work well together. But Jen is a financial person and over HR, and Jeff is the marketing and head brewmeister. Doesn't mean that he does all the brewing. They have over 150 different mead recipes, but he has engaged, they have several members of their team that they collaborate with to come up with exciting new recipes. But he's the marketing genius, she's the operational genius, and they divide their roles really, really well. And then they collaborate. It isn't that they don't talk to one another, but they work together as a team. They've engaged their entire staff. when we went out, when the pandemic started, they had 27 employees, and predominantly at the tasting room in Prescott, plus their off-site production facility at the Prescott Airport. They had to close and lay off half their staff because of the pandemic. They were able to get a PPP to bring back their staff within a month or two. But during that time, what they did in terms of pivoting, she mentioned pop-ups, but the other thing they did was come up with, what are some other creative ideas that we can do? They did special packages, date night packages. They collaborated with a local bread company, a local florist. They reached out to their other business community partners to put packages together that they sold very successfully. And then they concentrated on online sales. They're selling globally in, I think, 34 countries. They're in almost every state of the US, and they have won major awards in year after year in the beer industry as one of the top brewers. And this is just, starting out in Skull Valley as a two-person operation. They were named in 2019, we recognized them as our SBDC Success Award winner for Yavapai, but also for Yavapai College, but also the state. Then the SBA district office recognized them as the state small business award winner, and then nationally they were recognized for the national small business person of the year. So it's just, I'm just delighted to be able to work with them. It's a challenge because they're not our normal small business. They really are adept at growing themselves. They are now up to just under 100 employees and opening up their full service restaurant in Phoenix during the pandemic. So I hope I didn't take too much time, but
No, you're absolutely, it's so funny that all of you have said that, but the information that you're sharing is so valuable. And I especially love the stories, because a lot of times we can hear benefits or the why or whatever, but it's hearing the stories and seeing ourselves in that story. So thank you all for sharing the stories. And for everybody out there, I hope that you're able to see yourselves in the stories. And we've mentioned the SBDC is a great resource. Hopefully you've learned from these women that there's great opportunity to collaborate. We've talked a lot about that throughout the day today. So we want to share with you, how do you do that? What do we do after this? What's the next step? So I believe Lisa had mentioned that the 360, what did you call that, Lisa?
Yeah, it's a growth wheel tool. It's a 360-degree screening that we offer our clients. We would be happy to share that with you all.
Yep, we're going to share that with you all right now. So Taylor, if you'll put that slide up, and then I think we have a link we can drop. So if you put your phone up here, it will take you right to that tool so that you have access to that tool and you can use it. And I think we have a link maybe that we can drop in the chat if you'd rather have a link, if you're not comfortable using the QR tool. And if you haven't talked to the SBDC in a while, maybe now's the time. Maybe, we're returning. I'm hearing that, with everybody starting to get vaccinated, we're looking forward to the second half of the year and returning back to more in person and returning back to in business. I like to say we're going to emerge extraordinary. So maybe now's the time to start your conversations so that we can emerge extraordinary. So, and then how do you leverage your strength? So if you've heard some stories today that resonated with you, as we shared with the SBDC resources, I think a link was already put in there about how you can register so that you can be assigned to a counselor. And I know even if you don't have a counselor, I think I've taken some free classes that were sponsored by the SBDC that helped me in my own business. So just different resources available. So check them out. See how you can leverage your strength.